Hey everyone, I'm Tassenix and welcome back to another mod guide video. We're wrapping up the 501st Legion faction with its stalwart tank, CT-5555, aka Fives. Like all other characters here in this faction, we'll go ahead and cover the leadership that we're working under. I assume you'll be going under General Skywalker's, which is General of the 501st. So I've got this little redux here just about how that leadership might affect how we consider modding. There's more to the text of this ability. I will have a link to the General Skywalker video here, because I'll refer to that in a couple of points, but it'll get you right over there and you'll get the full details. Regardless though, the General Skywalker leadership says all units can't be revived. All 501st allies have plus 50% critical damage, and when an enemy gains a buff, all 501st allies gain 2% offense, stacking indefinitely until the end of the encounter. Alright, let's get that out of the way and dig right into Fives' kit. So, first unique here, Tactical Awareness. Fives can't be revived. Now, this is only something to consider if you're using him outside of the General Skywalker lead, right? Because General Skywalker says nobody's getting revived, ally or enemy. So if you're maybe running like a Rex lead, or in the rare situation where you might use Fives' own leadership, that's something to consider, right? When another 501st Clone Trooper ally would be defeated while Fives is active, they recover 100% health and Fives is defeated at the end of that turn. If Fives is defeated this way, 501st Clone Trooper allies gain his max health, max protection, speed, and offense stats in addition to their own until the end of the battle, right? So this is the key benefit for Fives on this team. Yes, he can be a tank, and yes, he can soak up damage, but this is kind of his threat condition. You know, if you make him tanky enough, your opponents might get stalled out trying to kill him directly because they don't want to target anybody but Fives when they can. Like when General Skywalker sits down and you target any of the other clones, most people are saying, man, I really want to pound through Fives first, because if I go after anyone else while Fives is alive, he'll sacrifice himself and turbocharge the entire team, right? It's 501st Clone Trooper allies gain this, okay? So it's not gas, actually. Not General Skywalker who's gaining this, but all of the other clones are just really, really cracked out by this, right? So this is the primary threat of having Fives here. His next unique, Domino Squad. Fives has plus 85% counter chance. Fives gains 15% turn meter whenever another Clone Trooper or 501st ally takes damage, and half that amount for other allies. If CT-21-0408 Echo is present, Fives has plus 100% defense when taunting, or deals 100% more damage when not taunting. So a couple important points about this unique. With ARC Trooper, in his video, I mentioned that you will largely be wanting to put the turret from ARC Trooper, giving the command ability to Fives, because Fives is going to gain a ton of turn meter from his allies getting hit, and then of course when he's getting hit himself, he's got this high counter chance, and that counter chance does get responded to with the turret as well. It's whenever, I think that's how it works anyway. And if it doesn't, it's still fine, because Fives is still taking so many turns with this turn meter gain that the most value that you get from that ARC Trooper turret is by having it here. That said, you're often going to see, like, when you drop a member out of the gas 501st team to put in Captain Rex, which enables you to impede other counters and stuff like that, you're usually dropping ARC Trooper and keeping Echo, right? Because you actually want to retain this synergy between Echo and Fives. Echo and Fives each have callouts to each other in their kits, so that's another important point to keep. Okay, on to Fives Basic. Dual DC-17 blasters. Deal physical damage to target enemy and inflict speed down for 2 turns. If the enemy was already inflicted with speed down, attack again. Straightforward. Cover Fire, his only special. Deal physical damage to target enemy and call target ally to assist. If the assisting ally is a Clone Trooper or 501st, Both attackers deal 35% more damage. At the end of his turn, if no allies are taunting, 5 taunts for 2 turns. Now, I love running my General Skywalker team on defense, and for that reason, just the other day I was using him on offense, and I was so afraid of using this special to call gas to do damage, because I was like, I don't really want to make 5s taunt, I want them to hit General Skywalker and keep getting those nasty counterattacks from him. But I forgot that he's not actually going to gain this taunt unless someone else isn't taunting, alright? So as long as General Skywalker is in the advanced position, this will not put taunt up on 5s. When General Skywalker is in cover, and if you use this ability, it will give him taunt, which means that the enemy could choose to focus him down, and if they do blow him up as the first one of the clones that they blow up, yeah, you're gonna have him sacrifice and give all those stats out, right? Whereas if you don't use this special when General Skywalker's in cover, you know, if you're using this on attack versus the AI, they may well just hit the side characters, force 5s to sacrifice, and though you lose the banner efficiency for that, you also gain all the strength to maybe close out the fight. It's a strategic call for you to make, but it's really important to keep this in mind, how that taunt works, because I forgot it just the other day. Okay, so his leadership, last but not least, veteran Clone Trooper. Clone Trooper allies have plus 50% defense, and other allies gain half that amount. 501st allies gain protection over time, 5% for 2 turns whenever they're critically hit. Not strictly terrible, it's just not competitive, certainly with General Skywalker's leadership, and I also think Rex's lead is better for most circumstances. You know, there's also a reasonable case that you could set, you know, clones with General Kenobi lead, like at lower levels of play where there's less Galactic Legends and less, you know, like Darth Revans and stuff like that running around. Like, I would see General Kenobi's leadership getting used ahead of this, though. Alright. So, as far as team comps and turn order, like our other videos, by the way, you might have noticed I've actually got the PC beta running here. The colors are a little faded compared to BlueStacks, but it is very, very smooth, so you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think. But I'll be trying this for the next couple streams and seeing what the feedback is like. Anyway, these teams here are shown in terms of desired turn order, right? Rex over Arc, over General Skywalker, over Echo, with 5s as the base. You don't actually need to put a ton of emphasis on speed into him because of all of the turn meter gains through his kit, right? And then, of course, I show this 3 versus 3 split. Like, you know, the best 3 versus 3 General Skywalker team is going to be with both Rex and 5s. I've seen people do Arc and Echo, and then you can do Rex and 5s with something else in the middle. Like Rex lead with 5s, and then like Zaris or Captain Rex. There's a few options, but those are probably the best ones. Alright, let's dig back into his mods. So there's a lot of flexibility here. In general, as a tank, I'm going to say that defense sets are a great way to go. Now, you could go all 6. Maybe you're like me, where you're a little more constrained on your defense sets, or you've got some really banging tank secondaries on health sets to combine. I think it was a Reddit poster from years ago. Somebody did the breakdown on the math and said, like, for most tanks, in most cases, having like a 4-piece of defense with a 2-piece of health is going to be like a great optimization. So I don't know how true that holds up these days, but I would say that as a tank character, probably biasing towards defense set types, defense and health is a great way to go, alright, for set types. As far as actual stats and primaries, yeah, let's dig into it. So I like protection all the way around. The idea behind 5s here is you're setting up this kind of threat for the enemy team. It's like, okay, fine, you want to sit General Skywalker down so that you can kill all his allies and then gas. So while gas is sitting, 5s is going to put up that taunt, right? And now you have a decision to make. Do you have some way of dispelling it and immediately getting around it? And if you do, fine, but he's going to cycle turns enough quickly where he's going to have that taunt back up in short order. So you have to make a call fighting the General Skywalker team. Am I trying to push through and kill fives outright, and then kill the other clones. Get this fight wrapped up before General Skywalker stands up too many times and kicks my teeth in? Or are you choosing to focus down on one of the other clones when Gas is sitting, and you force Fives to sacrifice himself, but if you can control the fight well enough, that might not matter. Recently, I used bounty hunters to counter Gas in 5 vs 5, and once you snipe out Gas, the rest of the fight is about controlling the other clones and stopping Rex in particular from being able to cleanse off the team and give them all tenacity up. It makes it a nightmare for you trying to actually stun and control them. But like in most of my successful fights, I'm actually choosing to force Fives to sacrifice himself, because most people are going to mod their Fives like this. Really tanky, really solid, so that you're punished for trying to spend a lot of time, focusing him down. So anyways, yeah, protection primaries all the way around. Defense sets, a blend of health and defense sets, probably biasing more towards defense. And then offense and speed, as much of it as you can pack on, or that you're comfortable with giving to this character, right? My own Fives, why did I hit that? My own Fives is right now 208. Historically, he's been about 220 for me, okay? So he's a little slower than average. He's giving, very little speed at the end of the day. Only 73 speed gets shared out by his sacrifice, right? But he's also got a lot of offense built into this for a tank. So that's all getting shared out. Moreover, this is kind of the number to go for, survivability-wise. If you can get to this with some mix of health and defense sets, you're doing really well. 80% armor at Relic 9 is great. Now, if you're looking at your own Fives and you've got them at Relic 7, Relic 8, you can look at what your gains are, like in terms of armor percentage going up from 7 to 8 and 8 to 9. Probably take off a couple percentage points. Think that if you're Relic 7, maybe the best I could do is like 77, somewhere like that percent armor. But at Relic 9, being like 80% armor on the nose with just a ton of protection thrown on top, and as much offense and speed as you can bake in besides, is going to be the best way to set him up. So you'll have him as a tank threat in his own right, but if they do choose to make him sacrifice, fine, punish them. Give as much juice as you can to this guy so he can hand it out. It's speed, offense, health, and protection. The health's nice too, yeah. I mean, nothing's really going to waste here with that sacrifice. Last but never least, let me pull up the applications page, and let's see if this works the way I want it to. Great, we minimize this and it comes right down. So yeah, this isn't going to be too much different than what I was showing in the Rex video, right? Because I'm usually using these characters together, and you're thinking about Fives, like obviously he's going to be with Gas, so if you were otherwise going to use him, it's almost always going to be under like a Rex leadership, okay? And that's why I will refer, I'll put the link to the Rex video as well in here so that you guys can get right over to that, because I discussed some of these 3 versus 3 counters and stuff a little bit more in detail. But yeah, in 3 versus 3, Rex, Fives, pretty closely tied together. And I would say the same is true if you're not running him with Gas in 5 versus 5. So that does conclude our 501st video section, and yeah, we're just on the cusp now of getting ready to talk about the Queen Amidala team. I think we'll be starting off with Padawan Obi-Wan, so stay tuned for that. He is just about to become free-to-play farmable, so I know a lot of you are going to be getting to work on that. Thanks again for all of the warm support and encouragement I'm getting on this video series. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to make sure you're getting notified when the next videos are coming out. Of course, you can find me live on Twitch and, twitch.tv/Tassenix. And yeah, until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.